In our last lecture, we have discussed about some basic commands related to the Linux. Let me log in with root user. We have discussed about some basic commands related to the uh, Linux, like echo command, which is nothing but just display the result. For example, let me clear the history first. History minus C. And now if I say echo and hello world, so it will just print the hello world. Now, um, I want to add few things here. So, for example, I want to print hello world, and if I say hello and slash n, this is called the escape sequence. Okay, so if I say this, so you can see that it is printing as it is. That is hello slash n world. But I want to use this slash n as the new line character. Okay, I want to use it as a new line character. Means slash n is if you know these languages like C, C++, right? So there we use slash n as a new line character. So I want to enable that new line character. So if I say minus e, so now you can see with the help of minus e, which is enabling the escape sequencing, right? So now it is hello and then it is word. So hello, wherever after slash n, it will give you the next line. Last time also we have discussed little bit about the variables. We will discuss in detail. But if you remember in last lecture, we have discussed about the environment variable. We have discussed about the shell variables. Okay. So I will continue to that. But now if I have a variable, say an example, I have a variable name equals to say RHEL. Okay. Now if I say echo and dollar name, so it will give you the RHEL. But I want that this name is to be entered at runtime. Uh, so I will use the read state. Okay. So it will take the user input. So if I say name, read name, so I'll just put read name will take the user input. Okay. So if I say read and say an example, I'm just reading this into the name variable. So I will enter some value. So for example, if I say RHEL, capital letter now I'm giving. Okay. Now what it has done, it has basically stored this value into my variable name. So name is now having value RHEL. So if I say echo and dollar name now, see it is capital RHEL, right? If you want to integrate with some string, so that also you can do it. So for example, if I say echo, then you can use double quotes. And if I say hello and then the dollar name. So now you can see it is saying hello RHEL, right? So guys, just 1 second, one call. All right. So here you can see now it is printing hello and dollar name, which is uh, RHEL. Now, when I execute this command, um, read name, it did not ask for any prompt. It means I want some, you know, some user-friendly or you can say prompt. Okay. So I want some inline prompt so that it will. So I want some inline prompt so that it will ask accordingly. Means it will ask with some prompt or some message. So, for example, if I say uh, read and minus p, I will use minus p is for the prompt. So I will say enter age, for example, or enter your age. So now I will give the variable name after that. Now see, it is asking enter your age. So I will be entering age, say an example, 30. Okay. Now in the age variable, the value is stored as 30. So for example, if I say echo and if I say you are dollar age years old. So see, now because that value gets stored into this particular variable age. That is why it is you know it is showing dollar age. Means if you want to print the value of any variable, right? So you need to use dollar in front of that, right? So this is the read statement, how efficiently you can use it. We have also discussed about mkdir. So in make directory, there is one more thing. So now if I say ls, so there are so many files. Let me remove all these unwanted files. So if I say rm minus f asterisk dot txt, it will remove all txt files. So I will remove this new files also. I will say rm minus. Otherwise, I'm using minus f for force. Otherwise, what it will do, it will ask, do you want to delete this? So I want to ignore this. That is why I'm using this. So I'll say new asterisk. So I want to remove all new files. Okay. So there is a new directory also. I will use rm minus fr. It will remove the directories. Right. Now, if you see, now I have these. So consider I want to create a directory, or let me go to a our CD script directory. Now here you can see I have some files. Let me remove all these files. I'm removing all this file. There is nothing. I want to create a directory. If I say mkdir, I want to create a directory, say a subdirectory 1, under that subdirectory 2, under the same folder, script folder. Okay. Then subdirectory 3. I want to create like that, but it will give the error because I'm creating subdirectory 3 and it is saying that there is no directory called sub 1 or sub 2, right? So if you want to create its parent directories also, then you need to use minus p. So it will create the parent directories also. Now see, there is no error. So if I run the tree command, so you can see under my current directory, I have sub1. Under sub1, we are having sub2. Under sub2, we are having sub3. Now, if I want to go to sub3, I will say sub1, sub2, and sub3. So currently, I'm in the pwd command. I'm currently into the sub3 directory. Now, if I want to go to the parent directory, cd dot dot, we already know. If you want to go to the root directory, cd slash. If you want to go to the root means home directory, then this dollar. Right. So, right. So, right. So if I say cd dollar, what it will do? It will go to the home directory. Home directory is where? That is home directory of that current user. Now, there is one more command which is cd hyphen. So if I run this command, what it will do? It will go to the its previous. previous one means, see, I was in the script directory. Then I changed to the sub3 directory. Now you want to go to the previous sub3 to script again. Then you use cd hyphen. Others are maybe you are already familiar, but this is a little bit different. That's why. So if you want to move between the directories, then you can use cd hyphen. ls command we have already discussed. Copy command we have already discussed. Move command we have already discussed. Rm command we have discussed. And change. So any question related to these commands?
So cd dot dot, instead of that we are using cd hyphen, but cd dot dot is for it's not
Parent
for
directory.
parent
cd
directory.
dot dot will give it to, if I am in sub3, it will go to the sub2. But if you use cd hyphen, so if I came from script directory to sub3, if I say cd hyphen, now sub3 to script again, not to sub1 or sub2.
I mean, you can also use cd space dot dot, uh, right?
No, no, no. See, if I say cd, now if I am in sub3 directory, so my present working directory is sub3. If I say cd dot dot, it will go to the sub2 directory, not to the script directory. But I came
So
from
directly to
sub2.
come back to script the directory, or eliminating sub one sub two. So you're using cd hyphen.
No, 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 no. It is basically, for example, you are going from directory 1 to directory 2. Okay, directory 1 is some path and directory 2 is some different path. Now you want to say, oh, I need to go back to my directory 1 again. So one way is that you need to say cd and that path. So if you use that path, you need to remember that, or you use cd hyphen. So because I came from directory 1 to directory 2, so if I switch back to directory 1 again, then I will use cd hyphen. So it could be your parent directory, it could be some other directory also.
Okay.
All right, good. So now if I say cd dot dot slash dot dot, so I'm in a script directory. cd dot dot means parent directory slash its parent, sub2 parents is sub1, and sub1 parent is script. So I'm in a script directory. Now let me means we have a little bit discussion about the output operator, redirection operator. But let me just discuss a little bit more about that. So the output operator. So output operator is greater than, output operator is double greater than, which is the append operator. And we are having the input operator, which is less. So these are three redirection operators, and we will see one by one how to use them. So now I have this ls, right? So I want to remove all this directory, rm asterisk, right, minus fi, remove forcefully and recursively. So I have removed all the files and directory inside my script directory. Now, if I say echo and hello world, now I want to store it into a file, say output.txt file. So now if I say cat output.txt file, so there is a hello world. If I want to write again into this, say hello Linux. So now if I say cat, so it overwrites the existing content. The reason is because output.txt already exists, but that is automatically overridden. But I don't want to override, I want to append. So I will say hello world, and then I will use this redirection operator, which is basically append operator. Now if I say cat, so it is basically appending into this particular file. Now, next is the input operator. So you can use cat command. We don't use the input operator explicitly. It is implicitly or used when we use the cat command. So if I say cat and input operator, and if I say output.txt file, see the output is same because internally it is using the input commands, right? So um, now consider that mm, consider that I have a file which is say name.txt. So I will create a file. So I'll say echo, um, not echo. I will use nano editor and I will say my file name is names.txt. And here I'm writing Praveen, I'm writing Fatima, and I'm writing Ram. Okay. So I have these three names into this. Okay. I will save this file. Now, if I say cat and if I say that names.txt, so these are three names. So now I want to read this file and I want to extract each line where each name basically in this case. So we can use the while command. I'll say read a variable name do, right? And now you can write the echo command. So you can say echo and hello and dollar name. I will explain what I'm doing and then done. And I want to input. So now this is the input operator names.txt file. Okay. There is 1 minute. Read name. Uh-huh. There is something. Let me write it again. While and read name. Oh, actually, there is a semicolon required here. So do. Okay. So we mostly write it into a script file, but I'm writing directly on the terminal. And now here I will say echo and hello, then dollar name, and then done. I will read from the names.txt. Right. So here you can see it gives me the output. Hello Praveen, hello Fatima, hello Raman. So here I have used this input operator, right? So input operator is basically reading. So actually this is a while loop. So it will read the name from, and it will read the name from this file, which is names.txt file. So in names.txt file, I have these three values, Praveen, Fatima, and Raman. So what it is doing, it is saying echo and dollar name. So dollar name is value, which is read from this particular file name.txt line by line. Okay. So I hope you understand the purpose of this. You understand the purpose of this particular uh, input operator, right? Input is to read from the file, right? So now we can use this command which is a input command and output redirection operators, we can use jointly also. How we can use jointly? For example, there is a command which is sort command, right? And if I say sort names.txt, okay. So this is sorting in the alphabetically order. So I want to use input operator. So I can use the input operator also. So this will give the same result because cat command or sort command. So these are reading the file. So when they are reading, they are using the input operator only. I want to read this file and then I want to store it into some other file. So I will say read this and I will say sorted.txt file. Okay. Now, if I say ls, so you can see there is a file which is called sorted.txt get created. Now let us see what is in this file. So if I say cat sorted.txt, see this is in the alphabetically order, right? So when it is in the alphabetically order, how it happened? First, I use the input operator, then I use the output operator. So input operator is reading this and output operator is storing that value into my variable. Right? Now, there are some more use cases with this operator we can use. Like for example, you want to redirect error messages into some file. So an example, if I say cat ABC, that file does not exist. It gives me the error that ABC file does not exist. Now, if I say ls ABC, it is saying you cannot access this file because there is an error. Now, what I want to do, I want that this error message should be stored into some file, error file. So I'll say ls ABC and q greater than, which is the output operator, error.txt. Okay. So now you have not seen that error on the screen. But if I read this error.txt, see that error gets stored into my uh, that error gets stored into my this error.txt file. So these operators are very useful, right? So uh, right. Now I already we have discussed in our last lecture where I have shown you that how you can use the multiple pipe symbols, right? So it will be taking the left-hand side command as the input, and the output of that left-hand side command output becomes the input for the right-hand side of the pipe symbol, right? So that we have discussed in our last lecture. Um, Let me see if there is. Okay. Now consider there are some files under root folder under etc. So there are so many files. Now here you can see there are some files. Uh, Means you can extract some set of files or you can search those files and you want to store that file names into your some file. Okay. So for example, log files or local files or login files, right? Or log related files. So all those file names you want to store it into your uh, some file, right? So you can say ls under etc, right? I want to grab all the files which are started with the log, right? So I want to grab all these log files. So if you run this command, so it is showing all these files, right? So Now I want to keep these files, or let us search for the configuration files. So these are the configuration files, backup files or other config files. So I want to store all these files into my configuration file. So what I can do, I can use pipe symbols with output operator. So I will say extract. So now output of this command becomes the input for this, and greater than, which is the output operator, I will say conf underscore files dot txt. So now what it is doing, it is basically having these files information into this txt file. See, all get stored into this. So this is how we can combine the uh, we can combine that um, the pipe symbols along with our redirection operator. Now, if I say I want to list all the files which is uh, which is having con or configuration file. So if you are not supposed to use this output operator here, this is a wrong way. So if I say grep and con, so this is an error, because you know this is not the use case for the redirection operator. So the use case is you need to use pipe symbol. Okay. Now it is returning, right? So that is under the current directory. Oh, so this is about the variables. Let me share the history of these commands, or I will share it. Or I will keep it into my notes. So I'm putting it into my notepad. Okay. Now let me clear the history. Now I'll share it on the chat window also. All right. Now we have discussed about the variables in our last lecture, but let me little bit more elaborate on this variables. Right. So here we will see that how we can define the variables, how we can use the variable. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a variable here, say name variable, and name equals to Linux. So if I say echo and dollar name, it is Linux. Now let me declare this variable in single quotes. So you need not to define the data type for the variable. Whatever the value you are assigning, according to that, the variable uh, it becomes of that type. So, and also it depends upon the how you are using that. So we will discuss that how to use this variable. For example, if it is a numeric variable, how to use that numeric variables. Right. So now here again I have let me change with the Linux one. Now if I say echo dollar name, now see in the single quotes I am putting name equals to Linux one. But if I use without quotes, see it is Linux one. If I say dollar name, it is Linux one. Right? So you can use double quote, single quote, and normal values. You can also put some numeric values, for example, 5. Now, if I say echo dollar name, it is 5. Now, how to use with the string? What you can do? So let me again change it to the Linux. It's better to use double quotes most of the time, but I will show you that how single quote behave with the variables also. Okay. So here it is same single quotes or double quotes or without that for now. So now if I say echo and dollar or hello dollar name, right? So I'm just simply saying hello Linux. So now you can also print without, if I say something like this, without quotes also you can print. So if you don't use this dollar, what will happen? It will think name is a normal string. It is not a, it is not a dollar, let's say variable. Now you can also use the curly braces with your with your variable name. For example, if I say I have a variable called file and it is having a value report. Now if I say echo and if I say echo and I'll say the file is, you can use dollar file, or you can use dollar curly braces file, say dot txt. So you can see it is giving the same result. So there are some use cases for the curly braces. It is basically when you are appending the characters to the variables. In that case, we use this curly braces. Now, if you want that you want to store the output, your command output to a variable. Okay. See, this you can do. For example, I have a echo and say dollar name. So I have Linux variable. I'm creating one more variable name one. And if I say equals to dollar name. Okay. Now if I say echo dollar name one, so you can see that it is having the same value as the name variable. Now if I change dollar, if I change the name variable equals to say Linux 2. Now if I say echo and dollar name, so it is Linux 2. And if I say echo dollar name 1, so these two are two different variables, right? Name and name 1, both are two different variables, right? But in this statement, I have assigned existing variable value to my new variable, which is name 1. Now, as we know, there are some commands like pwd. So pwd command is basically returning the present working directory. So in that case, if I say echo dollar pwd, so it is nothing. So it means if I take another variable pwd1 equals to pwd, right? Now if I say echo dollar pwd1, see, it is storing the value pwd, but I want to store the pwd command output into the variable, which is pwd1. So if you want to do that, then you can use the parenthesis, okay, with the dollar symbol. So for example, if I want to create a directory called current directory equals to dollar, and now you need to use this parenthesis, right? and here I will say PWD. Okay, and now press enter. Now, if I say echo and you are in dollar current underscore directory. So now you can see it has stored the value of the output of PWD command instead of PWD directly. When I use this statement, it has stored a value called PWD, but I wanted to store the output of this PWD command. So if there is environment variables, so we know there are some environment variable like $home. This is the home directory of the current user. If you want to store this value, if I say home1 equals to $home, tell me whether it will have the output or home as a value.
Home as
Output
the
of
value.
this
No, no.
value.
It will not have, unless you use parentheses, it will not have, right? That's what you're saying.
Okay, let us see. So if I say echo and home1, $home1,
No, no, no. Sorry. It's okay, okay, okay. It's a
it's the
variable, so
environment.
it'll fill.
Yes,
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
so it will be the environment variable. So I'm directly putting the value of that environment variable
Variable
into
itself.
my,
Okay.
yes. Now, if you want to create a constant variable, or we call the immutable variables. So immutable variables are the read-only variables, read-only or immutable variable. So these variables value you cannot change. So these are constant. To define that, we use read-only, right? And for example, I'm declaring a variable called version. And if I say version equals to 1.0, okay. So I have declared a variable which is version variable, and this is having value 1.0. So earlier you have seen I have repeatedly changing the value of a variable, but now let us try to change the value of this version. So I will say version equals to 2.0. So you can see I'm unable to change this variable because change the value of this variable because this is uh, this is constant variable or read-only variable. So you can declare the read-only variable also. If I say unset and version, right? So uh, actually this command clears this variable. Oh, read-only. Oh, sorry, not version, some other variable. So unset the variable, not the constant. Okay. So you can see I have unset my variable, which is uh, basically removing that variable. So this way you can define the variables. We will see that what is the purpose of single quotes and double quotes. So as I mentioned that I want to means we want to use variables like in single quotes or double quotes. So what you will do, for example, I have my variable called file equals to my my report, my report.txt. This is my variable. Now, if I print this echo dollar, right? So it will give you that output, my file. Now, if I try to copy this file, if I say uh, copy dollar file, so dollar file is value my space report.txt, right? I want to copy it into some folder slash home slash Raman folder. See, now there are two words. Copy cannot start my, no such file or directory. Copy cannot start report.txt, which does not start. Right? See, whenever we are using copy command, we are using the two parameters, source and destination. But now consider this is uh, my file, which is my space report.txt. So it is taking two separate words. Okay. So whenever I'm running this, so I'm using this two separate words. So I don't want that it is to be taken as two separate words. So we use double quotes. Okay. So in that case, what I will do, if I say dollar echo, you can print as I have shown you earlier. So in that case, to prevent that variable values to be taken as two separate words, you can put it into double quotes. That is the one use case. So it expand your variable to value. It prevents the word splitting, and it is the safest or the most reliable way to use the variables. So it is always preferable that you use double quotes instead of without double quotes variable. Now there is single quote also, right? So when you use single quote, it will not use the variable expansion. So it will be treated as a variable. For example, if I say name equals to say Ravi, okay, this is the name. Now, if I say echo and if I say single quote and I'll say hello and dollar name, single quotes close. See, it printed name as name only, means dollar name as dollar name only. It is not taking it as a variable. So if you are using single quotes, so so in that case, it will take it as the literal text, not as a variable, right? So what we will do in that case, we use double quotes. So again, it is preferable to use double quotes all the time. Okay? If you want to print a literal text, means as it is the text, then you can use single quotes. Now consider that now tell you guys need to tell me if I say echo my home directory is $home. What it will print?
The home directory slash home slash no slash
Yes,
root slash root.
slash root directory, right? Now, if I use single quotes, then
Type the same.
same as it is, right?
As
Now tell me if I say uh, if I say uh, okay. Now tell me if I say echo my name is Raman. I want to give a space. My name is space. So I want the output my name is I want a single double quote. Okay. So what will be the output of this?
I think it will end at my name is it. There will error out, I think.
Yes. So it is expecting there should be a closing quotes,
Yeah.
Closing quotes.
Yeah.
right? And until unless I put that closing quotes, it will not take it as. Now, but I want to print, but it has not printed single quote, double quotes. So in that case, what you can do, you can use single quote, starting with single quote. So what will with the output of this?
Just exactly the same thing. Well, close it. Yeah.
So it will have this double quotes now, right? Because I put everything into this single quote, right? So if you want to print a single quote or double quote, so for example, if I say echo uh, Linux class, so if I put this is correct way, but if I put in single quote, right? So now it will be expecting a closing quote, which is a single quote. So, but it is not printing that single apostrophe here. But I want to print this apostrophe. So for that, it's better put it into the double quotes. Okay. So there is one more single quote here. So it printed that also. Right. So that way we are basically using the uh, single or double quote into our script or on the terminal also. So whatever you are learning now, these are the building blocks of your scripts, because in the script we will be using all this similarly, right? So we have discussed the environment variables and the user variables in our last lecture, right? So where I have explained you how you can create the environment variable and the profile file, right? Export command we have used. So now next one is that I have explained you this read command, right? So read command is basically whenever you are executing any script or you are asking for the input, you use the read statement. I have explained you, right? So now consider you want to read multiple inputs. Okay? You want to read multiple inputs. Multiple inputs means if I say read, say first underscore name, last underscore name. So I'm reading two variables value now. So you need to press enter after, you know, entering first value. For example, here I'm saying Raman, sorry, Raman space I need to put. So Raman space, sure. Now, uh, now I want to print this, this value. So I'll say echo, my name is dollar, first name, comma, dollar, last name. Okay. So see, so because the value gets stored into multiple variables, that is why it is you know showing it as uh, variable one, which is first underscore name, and variable 2, which is last underscore name. So values get stored into these variables. Sometimes you have seen whenever we are entering something, it should not be displayed on the screen, like whenever you are entering the password, for example. So you use minus S option for the read, which is basically a silent input. So for example, if I say read and minus S and I'll say variable name is password. So now I'm entering a password 123. See variable value. Earlier, I was able to see what I am entering, but now here I am not able to see what I have entered. But if I say echo and dollar and password, so you can see value is 123. If you want to, read with a prompt, so you can use PS. So for example, if I say enter password, okay. So now, oh, uh, silent and prompt. Okay. Enter password. So I'm entering a password 123 4, enter. Right. So now, if I say echo and dollar password, see it has stored the value. So this way you can enter the value which is kind of a private values or secret values which you don't want to display. Conf file conf underscore files.txt. So I will say while I read line semicolon and then do, then you can say echo and uh, dollar line, right? And then done. And I'm reading the file, which is the confile.txt. So it will be reading all the lines. Any question till now? Okay. Now, um, right. Now, if you want to, whenever you are writing a script, so you want something user friendly, uh, you want some user friendly prompt. So how we can use that? For example, you want your first output will be uh, a message. So best way is that use your read statement and echo statement together. Say an example, if I create a script file, so I'll say nano and I'll call it uh, script one. For now, I'm giving just some name .sh. Now here I will say echo, enter your name. Okay. So I want that it will ask enter your name and then I will read that name into a variable. And then I will say echo hello and dollar. Now I want to run this. So I'll say bash and script.sh. Enter your name. I will say Raman. Hello, Raman. So I will, for now, I'm giving the full permission, 777, which gives the execute permission to everyone, this group user, normal users, and the owner. So I will say 777 to my script.sh file. Now, if I say now script dot sh, uh, sorry, dot slash script.sh. So enter your name. So, okay. So hello. So in your script now, so far we were learning the concept, which is uh, which is one by one. So you need to combine all these uh, whatever we have discussed so far into your scripts. Right? So you can also uh, say that instead of this, I want to use a prompt. So that also you can use -p, enter your name. Okay. And now control X. So now if I run this script, see now it is entering, asking your name, and it is saying hello, whatever the name you have entered. Okay. So if you want the inline prompt, then you use read -p. Right. Now, next thing is, let me share this history. Right. So you are getting this on on the chat window, right?
Um, yes,
Just
sir.
check that. Just
Yes,
check
yes.
that. All right.
Yes.
Now let us talk about numeric variable, how we can use this. For example, I have a variable a is equals to 10. And let me have another variable b equals to say 5. Now I want to use the arithmetic expansion. If I say a plus b, so it is saying not found. So if I say $a plus $b, so now it is taking that value 10 of variable a, but it is not doing arithmetic uh, calculation on my variable. So what I want to do, so there are multiple ways to do subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, etc. So if I say dollar and if I use a and plus b, Okay, so it is 15. Okay, because I did not use echo. So, if I put a echo here also, so it is simply saying 10 plus 5. It is not doing the calculation because it is taking as it is. Even though if I put it into double quotes, it will give the same result. But I want the summation of that. So I need to use this arithmetic expansion. So if you want to perform a calculation, for example, I want to say sum equals to, and then dollar, and two curly braces, then A plus B, and you can close the parenthesis. Now sum is having value which is 15. Or you can say here echo sum. So I can write here $A, $A plus $B equals to, and you can say $sum. So it can say 10 plus 5 equals to 15. Now we will try to do it into our script now. So I will open that script.sh file. Now here, instead of this, I will write read enter minus p. Right? So I'll say enter two numbers. I want to store that value into A and B. Okay? I want to store the value into my variable, which is A and B. Now, next, what I want to do, I want to print the value as the summation of these two. So I will say sum equals to dollar, and I'm using the arithmetic expansion, and I'll say A plus B. Okay. And you can say um, equal $A plus $B, $B equals to, and you can say $sum, right? Same way, I will use subtraction equals to, which is so now I will use subtraction, which is A minus B. And I will say equal $A minus $B equals to dollar sum, subtraction. Okay, so I have this script now. If I save this and save it, now if I say dot script dot sh, enter two numbers, I will say 10 and say 6. So you can see it is giving me the result, which is 15 and sorry, 16 and 4. Right? Now, for multiplication that you can try by yourself, for multiplication you use asterisk for multiplication. For division, you use slash symbol, forward slash. So this is a new way to do the arithmetic operations, but there is some older way or older style is also there, which is from the almost beginning of this Red Hat or Linux distribution. So that is, for example, expr or expression command. So for example, if I already have echo $A$B, which is 10 and 5. So if I say sum equals to, so you can use dollar and expr. So this is for the expression or arithmetic expressions. So here I can use $A plus $B. Okay. So now if I say echo and dollar sum, so you can see the value is 50. So you can use this value also. Right. Now, if I have value of A is equals to 2.2, right? If I have value which is 2.2, which is a floating number, B is equals to say 5.2. Now, if I say I want to find out the sum by using that arithmetic expressions. So I'll say echo dollar and two brackets $A plus $B. See, it is giving some error. So it is saying invalid operator 0.2 plus, because the one which we have discussed, arithmetic expression, that only supports integer values. It does not support the it does not support the floating point values. Now, how we can use that? To use that, we need to use BC. So BC is basically for the floating point values. So, say an example, if I say now sum equals to and dollar, and if I say echo, right, and if I say echo $A plus $B, okay, $B. And what I need to do, I need to use a pipe symbol and BC for floating point numbers only. So now I have closed all the, yeah. So now if I say echo and dollar sum, so you can see the floating point calculation is done. So if you want to use the floating point calculation, then you can use this BC. Right? So right. Now the right. So whenever you are dealing with the numeric values, so you use these two ways to do the arithmetic calculations. We need to use some keyword whenever we are using the comparison between these arithmetic values. Say an example. If I open my script and if you want to compare some values, so for example, if I say if condition, so if we will discuss in detail, but for this example, I'm just showing you. So I'm saying if the value of A is less than, so LT less than G is GT greater than GE. So these are some, uh, some operators, or you can say comparison operators, which we are using to compare. LT less than GT greater than GE greater than equals to LE less than equals to EQ for equal to. Okay. So I'm saying if $A is less than $B, okay, you need to use semicolon after that. Then I want to print something equal uh, sum equal or $A is less than $B. Or we can use single quotes here. Okay. And we need to use to close this, we use F5. So if condition statement is closed here, Control X, yes. No, let me run this script. So enter two numbers. So I'm entering 3 and 6. So now you can see there is some error. 1 second. So if okay, this is correct. Equal maybe we will use here double quotes. And I will put less than. Okay, I'll use because that is the and double quotes open closed. So we need to take care of all these things. Two brackets open, two brackets closed. Okay. Maybe actually sometimes space is also giving the issue. So this is the space. Yeah, I think the previous code was also correct, but the numbers say 3 and 6. Yeah. So 3 is less than 6 because that condition was satisfied. So as I mentioned, the error was not here. If I use this one and okay, so that was after B, we need to put one space. So now you can see that our script get executed. So other symbols, other operators, comparison operator for numeric values is LT less than, GT greater than, and equals to, greater than equals to, less less than equals to. So these are the operators which we can use while we are comparing the value. Okay. And when you are comparing the floating value, the concept is little different. Okay. So consider that we are having this value, decimal values. Okay. So this is for the numeric comparison. Numeric means integer comparison. So next is the floating numeric floating comparison. For that, it's better I will create a separate program because here it is mixer. So here or maybe in the same script, I will take another variable x equals to say 4.5, y equals to say 4.51 or 4.50. Means you can have multiple values after decimal. Now, how we can compare? I will say if, and now to compare these floating values, you use dollar echo, and we'll say dollar x is equals to for equality comparison less than that. Now actual comparison operator which we use for the numeric value comparison, we use as it is, less than symbol, greater than symbol. So I want to compare it with the dollar y. And as I mentioned, for the numeric floating point comparison, we use VC and minus L. Okay. And I will say semicolon, then, and you can say equal, and you can say equal. Else, I'll say equal, not equal. Okay. So let us save this. Yeah. So, right. So now you have seen that we have done a comparison, right? And this is the floating point. Now, what is your question, Fatima?
Like, is there any difference for different brackets like square and the normal one?
Yes, yes. So square brackets we use like in certain cases, like in if condition, and that we mostly don't use anywhere else, except some commands like grep command we use somewhere. But in the script point of view, we mostly use with the if condition. But the other parenthesis is circular brackets. So that again has different purposes. Like here you can see I have used it here. Here I cannot use square brackets. Okay. So same thing, I have shown you that this particular part is for the floating point calculation, right? So there I am using these brackets. So we will discuss if condition in detail. So there I will show you in which cases you can ignore this square brackets. Okay.
No, you told square bracket is used for if condition, but here even in this line which you highlighted, you have used if condition, but you have not used square
Not
bracket.
use. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In our if condition discussion, I will discuss with you that in what case you can ignore these square brackets also. Okay, that will be maybe tomorrow we will discuss about that.
Okay, and one more thing is like here you have given x value and y value, and but while you're printing the output, also it is asking to enter the numbers, and you're entering the two numbers. Then why this value is given here?
No, no, this is another comparison. This is the floating point comparison. So this is example number one, which is for the integer value comparison. This example is for the floating point comparison, which is returning equals or not equal. You can also enter means this read two numbers for floating point. I have hard coded these values, but you can, you can use this read statement to enter these values. Understood? So I'm saying that instead of hard coding these values, you can also replace it with the read statement, read the values in X and Y, and then put the decimal values into that. And then you can make it more dynamic.
Okay, I
Let
will
me,
try that.
yeah, let me share this script with you guys. Now, let me exit from here. Let me share the history of these commands. So I think today we will stop it here. Tomorrow we will discuss the conditional statement, loops, right? Further things related to our script. And then we will see some admin level examples where we will see that how administrator is using these concepts to set up its own shell script. Okay. So tomorrow we will meet at same time. And from next week, if you want to change early morning, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whenever you think is suitable to you, because I have one batch going on, which will be ending tomorrow. So after that, means I'm free in the morning time.
Sure, Aman. We'll confirm that.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. So tomorrow we will be meeting at 10:30.
Yep,
Thank you.
yep.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.